We in the building here with Kayla Joissaint. Oh, and then she left me. Well, listen, y'all. While y'all here, let me let y'all know about this course. This joint is fire. I'm giving all the free game. I am teaching you about masculinity, teaching you about relationships, manhood. I mean, we just going crazy. All my secrets are on there. But today we got a guest who is a saved sex therapist. Yeah. Y'all heard right. We're gonna talk about everything sex. We about to go crazy. I'm waiting for her to come back in because I don't know where she went. But we've been having conversation on Facebook, talking about random things. But a safe sex therapist, I thought that was interesting. And I figured y'all would want to know a little something about it, you feel me? And I gotta put my people on. Anybody that's gonna drop knowledge, that's gonna increase sex life, that's gonna increase business, that's gonna increase the art game. Excuse me, I always wanna be able to put this person on. And so we're gonna wait for Kayla to come back because I'm not even here for me. But while we wait for her, please go check out the course. Like I said, I'm talking about everything from manhood to controlling your ego to sexual pleasure. Like I'm going in when it comes to this course. So y'all need to hop on and get it popping because it's going to be amazing. And also, while we waiting for Kayla to hop back on, y'all could put y'all questions in the chat. Any questions that you might have about sex, any questions that you might have about relationships, go ahead, put that in the chat. Kayla, I'm over here just talking, waiting for you.
Listen, man, I said not the devil trying to interfere already.
Yeah,
But
right.
dropped, man, dropped. But anyway, I'm here. I'm here. I promise.
Man, I know you are, man. Listen, I give the devil no type of victory. You
None.
know what I mean? So I've learned all things. My saying is God does all things well.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
he does all things well. So when it don't work out, it's working out behind the scenes for my favor.
Come on, favor.
All creation is conspiring for my good. These are my
Amen.
affirmations. I don't let the
I
devil
love
get
it.
any glory.
I love it.
So I was talking a little bit and I was telling them about my course, just once again, restoring masculinity, talk about manhood, talk about mastering your ego, talk about sexual pleasure, attraction. I'm giving them my game, like my
Yes, I
game.
see.
And so since I do talk about sex, I figured you could verify that I was on point with some of the things. But before we get into that, why don't you introduce yourself? Let them know who you are.
Okay, cool. My name is Kayla Joissaint. I am now in Austin, Texas. I'm originally from Florida. I am a preacher of the gospel, hashtag pretty preacher. I believe in all things beautiful, feminine, girly energy, especially in a masculine space. I am here to help women feel their most beautiful self. I'm a certified makeup artist. I do weddings and birthdays. My niche is female clergy and female preachers. I love beautifying and being able to make a pretty preacher feel even more beautiful before she graces the stage. When I'm not doing that, I am in the track for pursuing and receiving my certificate to be an intimacy and wellness coach, with my demographic being married church couples,
Mm,
because I believe they're the most sexually frustrated and ignorant. So
facts.
I'm here to help the people out and preach the gospel because I do both. I definitely do both.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And I'm glad you said something about the church folks because I remember being younger and hearing couples getting married and they're like, I still feel like this is wrong. Like all
Hmm.
the brainwashing
Yes,
that they
yeah.
got from the church. and they thought that after they got married, it would all just go away.
Disappear. Yep.
Yep.
I know.
But they don't
Mhm.
understand the conditioning of the subconscious,
The
uh,
conditioning.
the stuff that I deal with. So let's talk about this a little bit. So you called yourself a saved sex therapist.
Yes, the safe sex coach. Hashtag.
Okay, saved sex coach. All right, nice. I like that. So is your goal to help save people have nasty sex?
Pretty much. That's like I want it to be as most freeing and liberating, right? And it doesn't necessarily need to always mean it's nasty. It just means it's freeing, right?
Mm,
It means it's coming from a place of liberation. It's coming from a place where there is no more guilt and shame surrounded by sex in your marriage bed when it comes to Christian couples. So if that means we're getting freak nasty, that's perfectly fine. However, I just want you to be free. And some people aren't even free tongue kissing. You know what I mean?
mm.
And so we got to get to that place. We got to get to that place.
What do you think blocks them from being free?
There's a lot of bad theology. Let me say bad theology, upbringing. I like to call them like ghosts in the bedroom, and that can mean your parents, family, somebody at the church, a church mother who scared you. That could be an uncle, it could be a relative, and that can also be trauma that lingers into your marital bed and makes itself more known and more present and makes it harder for you to enjoy your spouse.
Mm. Man, that's crazy. So when they come talk to you, what are some of the things that they'll be talking about?
So, one, I like to make sure we, identify roots, right? We can't get to the fun and the nasty stuff because guess what? I do that too. However, I want to make sure people know I get to the roots, right? We got to get to the root. Why are we here? What is the blockage? Why do you feel you need my coaching skills? Why do you feel like you need my expertise? And I've heard a very reasons of, oh, I feel like my spouse doesn't want to do it as often as I do, or I feel like they don't love me, or I feel like they make me feel ashamed of wanting certain sexual things or pleasures, or I don't feel safe being able to talk about my sexual past and things of that nature. So I hear a variety of things. I've heard people who are like, hey, we've been married for a couple of years, we want to spice it up, we want to add things and people to the room to make the marriage better. But in actuality, they have bad communicative skills and there's a lot of toxic childhood trauma. But adding a third person to the bedroom will not heal that, though.
Right.
And people think, let me just add a bunch of cool things and accessories to the pile of dirt or manure in cleaner ways, to make this seem more palatable, to make this pain and the problems in my marriage seem easier. And that's not how we do this.
You are talking. One of the things I teach in my course is that the brain is the biggest sex organ.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people underestimate how powerful the mind is
Oof,
as it
very.
pertains to sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
triggers from the past, pornography.
Yeah.
Though I'm not necessarily an anti-porn person,
Mm-hmm.
I am a anti-addiction,
Mm-hmm.
abuse, right?
Abuse.
Overuse.
Yes.
Yeah,
Abuse.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because sometimes porn can be the best foreplay.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know, people don't understand how the mind messes them up in the bedroom. Either
Mm-hmm.
they're too consumed with performance anxiety being a
Performance
thing,
anxiety.
right? It's a real thing. And I think a lot of people think that's just a man issue. They don't realize that women have performance anxiety as well.
Listen, I can tell you countless stories of people I know whose women or whose wives have said, hey, I don't want to do oral sex because I don't think I'm good at it. So this man's gone 3, 5, 12, 8 years without getting any form of oral sex because his wife is saying she's not good at it.
My lord.
And that's it. Like, we don't go, and vice versa. Men who are just like, oh, she doesn't climax when I do it, so I'm not doing it. So this poor woman is not getting anything. So there's that.
Mm.
There's that.
Wow. So let me make sure I understood what you said. You're saying that because she doesn't climax when he gives oral sex, he's not giving her any oral sex.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Listen. I'm trying to get to the rest of the episode here. But yes, I mean there's so many things, right? There's so many things. It's like, well, I know these two make you happy, so we're just gonna stick to these two. We're not gonna explore all the other millions of positions out there. I saw a meme. It was like there's like over 200 different sex positions, and y'all are just doing four. And I
Come
said,
on.
my God.
Come on.
Why not? Like do something new. Do something new with obviously within the constraints of that works with you and your spouse. But do something new and it's okay. But once, like you said, performance anxiety. Some people don't like trying something new. They don't think it's gonna work out. Or the idea of doing something new that they're not comfortable with puts them in a place where they feel like they're going to be judged, or they don't like not feeling safe because like we spoke about or you brought up about the mind, right? If I don't feel safe in my mind to be intellectually or emotionally vulnerable with you, I'm not being sexually vulnerable with you. Or if I don't feel sexually vulnerable with you, I'm not going to verbalize and speak up on my mind and how I'm really feeling because I already feel like I can't tell you how I'm really feeling, or I don't feel like it's going to be received well. If I tell you I actually don't like the way you give oral, I don't feel like it's going to be received well. I feel like you're going to stop having sex altogether and now I'm going to be stuck. So I would rather take and go through this really awful oral sex experience with you just so I feel like I'm going to get something in the end.
Ooh, child. I mean, I know you're telling the truth because I'm in this work too, and I heard a lot. Um,
I was going to say now, Doc.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, 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 nah. I know you tell, and I know you're telling the truth. I'm gonna give y'all something, right? So in my course, when I talk about sexual pleasure, I literally highlight how the clitoris is formed and all the anatomy aspects, and
Come
I
on,
give
anatomy.
tips on how to like build sexual tension and how to
Yeah.
like I really give them the game because it bothered me when I heard like 85% of women weren't orgasming. And I was like, whoa, nah, we need to change that. And it's just a matter of information because a lot of men have sex with women as if the women want to have sex like men. Like they don't consider who she is and how her mind
Yeah.
works and
Or the
how it's
body.
about the experience.
Snap, snap. Snap,
I
snap.
thought you were about to say something.
No, I was gonna let you do it. I was gonna let you go. Go ahead. You
Yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah. Because, and that's why I deal with things from an energy level
Mm-hmm.
because the gender thing can cause people to feel insecure if they don't fit the standard gender profile, right?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
deal with things from a masculine feminine perspective because
Mm-hmm.
that's not gender specific, though
Mm-hmm.
society uses it like it is.
Yes.
And so femininity loves experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so when you connect that to a feminine woman, as a masculine man, my goal is to create an experience that
You ain't
she
lying.
enjoys, that opens her
Lying.
up, that gives
Mm-hmm.
her the space to be as free. I like that word
Yes.
because the other thing I know what me and my wife. Shout out to my boo. How you doing, Queen?
Come on,
Um,
boo.
I sometimes I don't know if she knows how blessed she is, right? Because I hear a lot of women talk about that one trick pony guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we have the love connecting type sex. We have the ravage, like I'm about to like dominate you sex. We
Come
have the
on.
fun, playful. We just, sex is different based off of the energy she's giving me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And I want to teach guys how to do that same thing, how to
Yes.
read her.
Change up.
Yeah, and pay attention because women tend to be more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily always say like, yeah, no, go in circles,
Some of
or
us.
some of it. That's what I mean. Yeah, no, because listen, I know, I know the women that gonna let you know deeper, faster, harder, slow it down. Let me get on top. You're doing too much,
You better
right?
throw me around this room, babe. Throw me around. Throw me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Listen, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. That's why I also tell men to go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
brothers, they cramping up. They not as flexible. I tell women to go to the gym
I was gonna
too.
say, sis need to go to the gym too. Those knees are not gonna touch the ears If
Mm.
you haven't stretched, baby, you gotta stretch, eat your fruit,
Come
eat
on.
your veggies, squat, stretch. And I try and encourage couples, right? And this is why I say this is a whole process. We don't just get into the freak nasty stuff. Sometimes it's the smallest things that we can do that change and can really take that sex up a notch. What
Facts.
about sexy stretching?
Mm.
Sexy stretching. Stretch together. Make the sex pregame really intriguing and fun. If you're giving foreplay, help me reach my toes, because then we're gonna do it later. Help me be able to, stretch my arms above my head. All these things, let's do it together, because then it doesn't feel like, well, hurry up and get ready for me. It
Right.
is, baby, I'm gonna help you, because what I'm about to do, what we about to do together is gonna be crazy. And I need you to be ready, girl, or I need you to be ready, babe. And it's like, we can do this together. You know what I mean? Whether that is whatever kind of pregame, sexy pre-gaming we can do, whether that is manicuring our hem and trimming bushes, or making areas more neat and palatable, washing down and adding lotions that have taste to them and things like that. Like, there's so much we can do before we get to straight penis and vagina. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's so much we can do. So much.
Now you are speaking facts. I know for me personally in my household, typically speaking at least, I don't even penetrate the vagina with my penis until she has some type of climax with my tongue. But that's me. That's how I get down.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it. We love to hear it.
And because I think it was Come As You Are. I think that was the book
Come
that I
on.
read. Yeah, listen. It's not. I don't just make this. I think some people think I just make this stuff up. Like, I'm not reading and researching. Like, I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm doing my due diligence, right?
Come
But
as you are.
yeah, Come As You Are is a fire book for those by Emily something. I can't remember her last name, but I'll look it up in a little bit. But I think it was her who talked about making foreplay the main event,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of shifts some stuff mentally. Like, oh, I see. I've been trying to get her ready for the penis, but this whole thing should be its own type of experience,
On
you know.
experience.
And there are times where she's like, "No, I want this dick. Like, stop
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
with me,
just,
right?"
just straight to it. Let's don't
Yeah,
even play.
yeah. She get that too. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? She get that
She gonna
too.
get that too. It's
Yeah,
coming. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Love
Whatever
it.
you need, boo. Whatever you
I
need.
love it. I love it.
So, since you talked about women being nervous about giving oral sex,
Mm-hmm.
what are some, I guess, free tips, very general, that can help a woman perform better orally?
So the preacher and counselor in me is going to be like, now, sis, what is your perspective on giving oral sex? What is it? Right? Because, like I said, if you have a man who's like, yeah, babe, I can't wait for you to go down, but her mama
Mm,
or the lady from the church or her auntie is in her head talking about godly women don't put penises in their mouth. You know
mm,
what I mean? If that woman or that person is in it, or let's talk about for my seasoned women, my women who've been married before. You've had an ex-spouse, you've had
mm,
an ex-partner who called you names after performing certain things, or when you expressed certain sexual ideas or interests, they called you names and they made fun of you or they criticized you. Now you have a man who makes you feel like a queen everywhere else. However, your mind isn't free yet. You're still locked up in here. We have to get to that.
mm,
We have to uproot it. We got to clean up the shop. We got to empty it out. So then the man that we are with now is allowed the space to be able, he's allowed to clean house.
right.
I mean, all of us know what it's like to have to clean up behind somebody. And imagine moving into an apartment and the last tenant left all their stuff behind, and
Mm,
not even good, clean furniture, dirty furniture, the floor nasty, everything that you don't want to move into a place like that.
right.
So we have to clean and uproot and move things out the way for our new partner or whoever we're with, so that they deserve and they can get a clean and open and free space to move around and decorate how we as a couple feel fit, right?
Mm,
So after we get past that, and she's like, yeah, I'm totally cool with giving head. I want to do it. I want to learn. Okay, cool. Now, guess what though? And this is always going to this always going to trip people up. And Doc, I know you can attest to this.
mm-hmm.
Your old boo ain't your current boo. Okay?
I was gonna say
What
that, and you said it, girl. Come on.
Come on now. What you did with the last one, you might not be able to get away with this one, right?
Hmm.
Ladies, sometimes certain heads or shafts are more sensitive than others. Different sizes, my God. Come on, different sizes. There's different shapes. One's curved to left or right, up and down, straight, all the above. You have to learn your partner's body.
Yep.
This man, the God's body. Some men like a little grazing of the teeth. Some said, no, give me that jaw like you ain't got no teeth in your mouth.
Mm.
Everybody is totally different, right? Some people like hand and mouth. Some people like just hand or just mouth. It's all up to your partner, but that's that communication. We can't be too timid and too shy to have those conversations, right? A lot of times I tell people like have a broad daylight version of operation where you two are during the day or with the lights on, we are testing out things on each other's body and you tell me what works. Because the problem is, Doc, and I know you know this too, sometimes when we are what's the right word? We give constructive criticism during the act of
Come,
sex
come on.
can actually do more damage
Yep.
than not saying
Absolutely.
anything at all, right?
Absolutely.
Because while I am trying, while I got my little Victoria's Secret, ain't no secret anymore, and I'm doing this little show for you, is not the time to tell me I don't like the way you get on top. There's no time to tell me. Don't tell me that.
Right.
Don't tell me that. Because what that's going to do is you have now stopped me in my tracks. Now I'm associating, I'm not good at this. You don't like it. And
Yep.
now I'm not going to want to do it anymore. So you have to tell me well, while we're pre-gaming, you got to
Yep.
tell me on the off season. You got to tell me on laundry day, on the Sunday, after church, after service, whatever it is, when the kids are asleep. And we just play this game together and figure out what works for you and what works for me. Ask him. Ask him. And then on top of asking and having good communication, girl, you got to show some excitement.
Mm.
It's hard walking into something, be like, all right, son, what kind of head you want? What you want now? That does not give, let me cater to you, Destiny's Child. That's not what it
Right.
gives,
Right.
okay? This is a chore. You're a job. I don't like doing this. You actually irritate me. Hurry up and come so you can get out my face. And
Mm.
that, because let me tell you something. The next person or the woman that gives him a little attention that makes him feel like she doesn't have to rush with him
Mm.
and he can take all the time he wants. That's what he's going to say. And that does not condone the side chick ministry that we spoke about, on Facebook. It's just a factor. And it goes same way with women. Same way.
Absolutely. Nah, you hit it. Ooh, you hit it right in the head. No pun intended. Uh, men like having sex with
Mhm.
women that want to have sex with them.
I want to have sex with them.
Like that is a fact. And
Mm-hmm.
I know as a married man who speaks to married men, one of the most frustrating things is when your wife acts like she don't want to have sex with you.
She don't want to do it.
It's
She
like,
don't.
baby girl, what do I need to do? What do you need to do? But this ain't it.
This ain't it. This is not it. Yeah. Anybody, like if I tell you, baby, are you gonna go shopping like you told me to? You like hurry up and put on your shoes and let's go. This this all sounds like the fun shopping experience I thought. Oh, what? Not hand in hand, swinging arms, going through the mall. This
Right.
sounds like hurry up and you don't get to try nothing on. Hurry up and pick something. Let's go. That's a rush. It doesn't feel beautiful. You're not creating once again a safe space or environment for me to be freak nasty. You want me to be locked up, numbed up. That's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. You said something also that I think we need to visit real quick.
Go ahead.
Particularly, well, I'm gonna frame it this way: really
Okay.
dealing with unlocking some kinks, right?
Oh, yay. Mm-hmm.
Because in the church first they don't talk about sex, and they
Yes.
definitely don't talk about kinks, right?
Yes. Yes.
And of course, with me and my wife, we found safe ways to kind of do that. We communicate all the time, and so,
Yes.
like I said, I give some of this game to the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're a woman, you can give like the same game in a different perspective. Because
Yeah.
I'm not a woman, I don't know what it feels like to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to hear, or you can share rather, what are some of the safe ways to unlock the kinks. And before you answer, for those who are listening, there are, I don't want to call it regular sex, right? But there are some things that's
There's levels to
promoted.
this.
There's level. There we go. There's levels to this, right? And you want to always have consent, right? But you also want to explore, and so you want to check the ego, you want to do all that. But what is a safe way to know she wants to be choked? She wants, a little slap here or there, and
Mhm.
she likes when you, because some women, they got that dignity, but in the bedroom they want to be called a dirty slut, like
Mhm.
all that stuff. And sometimes guys are scared to explore, like in that way, and figure her out, because the last girl might have wanted this, and he doesn't want to offend this one, because once again she might be like, oh, I ain't never doing this again. So what's like the safe way to kind of deal with that?
We have conversations. And the thing is, and let me tell you something, if I can just brag a little bit about my marriage. When I tell you that man, I was very straightforward with this man of God. I was
Hmm.
very, very straightforward with this man. Our first date, which was at Cheesecake Factory,
Hey.
our first date, I said to him, we went through the preliminaries, okay, whatever. I said, now, tell me about what you are desiring sexually.
Mm.
I need to know these things because if you want to tie me up like a rotisserie chicken, which is an art and craft
Yeah.
sexually, it's a kink, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for that or the expectation that I'm supposed to do it, right? Or I'm
Mm.
supposed to be into it. So I said, what are you into? What you like? Let's kind of explore that, shall we? The conversation is needed. Do not be afraid to talk about it. But let's talk about it in a safe place, right? If she has been running around with the kids, she pregnant, she's irritated, her hair did not come out right today, somebody upset her on the job, man of God, this is not the time. This is not the time. Let me tell you again. Let me help somebody here.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not the time to be like, hey, can I put you in a swing that's connected to the door frame and see how that goes?
Right.
Don't ask me that. Don't ask me that because it's inconsiderate of the time and there's a place, time and space for everything, right?
Come on.
Um, and so once again, like I love my husband and I. We create these spaces on our dates.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'll talk about everything at any time, but for the most part, on our date nights, on our date weekends,
Mm.
that's when I'll come up with all the crazy stuff. I'll show him everything. I'll be like, hey, what you think about this? What you think about that? How do you feel
Hmm.
about this? And also, we have created a space in our sex life where I can verbalize that during the act. I can say, hey, let's try this instead.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work for everybody. That
Right.
doesn't work for everybody. Some people are one track. They're focused on this one thing. We already have a map of how we have sex. We
Mm.
kiss, we touch a little bit. Then after that, I put you on your back. Then after that, we see what and go cowgirl, and then all that. I know by the time you finish on top, climax for both of us. You know what I
Mm.
mean? People already have a pinwheel going on,
Hmm.
so you probably should talk about this beforehand and be very open about it too.
Mm.
Also, giving brothers some free game. What you don't say to the woman of God when you do want to experiment with choking or straps or cosplay and dress up
Hmm.
is, you know, I saw this other woman do it.
Come on, give him the game, sis. Give him the game.
My ex and I used to
Come on, sis. Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
you would listen, and I know somebody's gonna watch this and be like, "What? That's the dumbest thing, baby. It happens all
It
the
happens
time." When
all
I
the
tell you,
time.
I be making funeral arrangements for men of God all the time. Like
Yeah.
he said, "What he did? Who?" And granted, I am married to a very blunt and honest Haitian man, and
Hmm.
so there's some things that my husband will say. I'll just be like, "What? What'd you just say to me?" And I'd be like, he's like, hey, listen, I'm working on my words because my biggest thing with my husband is I'd rather you say it and we can try and clean it up together
Right.
versus you try and come with it all polished and it's missing a lot of the meat that was needed there in the first place, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So create the safe space, have the communication, but also make sure that your spouse is somebody that you feel okay having this dialogue with.
Mm-hmm.
I was in another podcast, and I just want to make sure I put this out here too. I believe in having a village or a community of friends that you can talk about your sexual desires with your spouse about with your
Mm-hmm.
friends. I believe that wholeheartedly. When I
Mm-hmm.
tell you I've learned sex positions from my friends
Yep.
because we spoke about it, and she told me what she did to her man, and I said, "Oh, let me try that too," because we spoke about it.
Yep.
Having a community, having is so imperative. Please have one. Have one. And I
Yeah.
I remember I heard this pastor say that women's downfall is talking to your girlfriends about your sex life with your husband. It's none of their business. And
Mm.
in retrospect, you can get there, but there's a lot of it. Y'all better be lucky that we talk to our girlfriends, because that's where half of our inspiration come from. You know,
Mm-hmm.
hearing from somebody else and seeing that sis was able to bust it wide open, and she did a split and she turned around and did all this stuff. It was like, oh girl, I can do that too. Because
Right.
my girlfriend is naturally my hype woman. She's gonna
Mm.
hype me up. She's gonna encourage me to try something new with you. So, man of God, be very grateful that the wife has girlfriends that she can talk to. And if she doesn't, we should, sis, you need to find some. You need to find some.
My queen, she always saying she doesn't talk about it because she don't want them wanting me. Because if they knew how good we had, I'm telling you, she's like, I told her a couple times, if the funds start getting low, we could, you know what I mean? We could put some content out a
Look,
little.
listen, put on a little ski mask and
You
go
know what I'm
down.
saying? I ain't got no tattoos or piercings.
I'm
They
trying
won't
to
know
tell
it's
you,
me.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna make it.
Absolutely. Speaking of, since we talking about that, filming sex. Now,
Hmm.
I love making movies, right? I don't do it all the time because I'm like lazy with like the setup,
Yeah.
right?
Set it
But since I
well.
got this
Mhm.
stuff set up here, I don't know, maybe when we get off. But what are your thoughts in making movies?
Love it. I
Mm,
am such an encourager of that. But however, back to who I am. Let's
okay.
go to roots. We gotta go to roots.
Right.
Some of us cannot take making a movie because it brings us back to a place that has not been we have not been delivered from, right?
Mm,
And that's what I'm saying. As much of a sex coach and intimacy wellness, and I love freak nasty, I'm also a preaching Christian, teaching theology based woman, right? And I believe in the spirit, and I believe in curses and generational curses and word curses and trauma and triggers, and I believe in all of that.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
of us are in relationships with somebody that's maybe haven't had in a porn, who's been a porn abuser, right? Let's
Hmm.
not say addiction, but
Right,
let's just
right,
say
right.
a porn abuser. And the thought of them watching something without you might make you uncomfortable, because it's like, I remember walking in on you, I remember catching you. And so it's like the thought of you watching something anyway, even if it's just me, it still makes me uncomfortable. Or there's some people who are camera
Mm.
shy. Man, there are people who are camera shy. They don't know how to, they don't want to perform, performance anxiety,
I
right?
about to say performance anxiety again. Yep, yep.
And then recording yourself too, listen, that takes a whole nother type of freedom and liberation, right?
Yeah, right.
And some of us are not there yet, but I am definitely a supporter in it. I believe in, hey, what you used to watch somebody else, and that might not be healthy for you, but watching your spouse bust a wide open might be the best thing for you. That's what you need. That's I believe in making home movies of
Yep.
each other, because I would rather you be excited and feel a little tingling when you think about the flick that your wife made you, or
Right.
what you guys did Valentine's night, and that makes you excited to go back home. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't wait to get off work. You can't wait to drop the kids off at grandma's and go home. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are the type of things that I am a believer in. Make your movie.
Make your
Make
movie,
your
y'all.
movie.
Make your movie. And I know for me, I can't speak for everybody else.
Can't
Look,
speak for
I'm
anybody
very
else.
transparent about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason why I go to the gym so I could good look naked, right? When
Yeah.
I'm watching myself in the film, it's like, all right, I gotta work on my back, gotta kind of
Mm-hmm.
get that
Mm-hmm.
together,
Mm-hmm.
and just it's like, all right, I wanna look good naked. Like it's cool to
Yes.
look
Come
good with the
on,
clothes
naked.
on. Let's get naked,
Naked.
but booty naked. You feel me? All right.
Yeah.
Well, you are a saved sex coach.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna ask this question that
Yes.
I think a lot of people want to know.
Oh,
But before I do that, Let me let y'all remind y'all about my course where I
Come on,
give
course.
all the game. Yeah, look, we're gonna promote this thing. Go
Yes.
to www.launchthroughfront.com/course. You can sign up for the course Restoring Masculinity, 8 modules where I'm giving all the game, how to conquer your ego, how to attract femininity, how to be the man that you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Help you identify the type of man that you are, why you're there, and how you can get to the man that you want to be. So it's brilliant. Y'all need to check it out for sure. And if you DM me, I'll give you a code so you can get it for a discount. So
Mm.
DM me. All
Yes.
right. So threesomes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Saved sex coach. We
Mm-hmm.
got to get to the root. We got to get to the trauma. We're completely healed. We are
Mm-hmm.
delivered.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on threesomes?
They ain't for everybody.
That's a fact.
That's one.
Mm.
Um, you're completely delivered. You gonna
You know,
find out when you in that room with somebody and you watching your man pipe down somebody else. You gonna see how saved you really are,
come
and how
on.
comfortable you are in your femininity, and how firm you are as the wife. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Being able to share. Not everybody is part of the sharing ministry.
That's a
You know
fact.
what I mean? You can't. It's not for everybody. And some people don't know that until they try it. But my thing, I always like to ask, why you want one? Is this just
Mm.
a fantasy? Are we trying, like, some people use it to get back at the spouse? And I said, see, your heart ain't right. And for
Mm-hmm.
that, God don't like ugly. You
Mm.
know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna bring another man in the bed so my husband can see what a real man does in the room. Like,
Mercy.
girl, that's not the time. That's not
Right.
the time, beloved. Not the time. Don't do that. You guys need to heal on the outside because somebody gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't want to let them meet the king like that. Um,
Amen. But I bring it up, and I'm glad you brought up the other man, because typically when threesomes are discussed, it's always the man wanting two women. But
sometimes a woman wants another woman too. Let's throw that out there.
and that's a fact too. But I've also encountered women where their sexual desire,
Yeah, they
they
want
like the idea
that
of
DP.
being double penetrated, right?
That DP.
Or they like sucking dick while getting beat down. Like
Hmm.
it's what they desire as a
Hmm.
woman.
Yeah,
And in the church, primarily, it's discouraged.
of course.
And that's why I'm asking you, because it's like, from your perspective, because yeah, I know what I believe, right? But from your perspective, is there anything, let's open it up, is there anything that should be suppressed because you're married and saved? Should you say, I just got to give up this fantasy because now I'm married? Because what happens is people delay marriage to fulfill all these fantasies
You never
with
get
this.
married.
Come on,
You
talk
never
about it,
get
sis.
married. You're just never gonna get married. And once again, this is why it's important to be able to talk to your spouse about your desires, your sexual desires and needs, and goals, your sexual goals. What do you want to be able to do?
Mm,
What would you like to see happen? What would you like to experience? Some people like lifestyle parties because they have to reach, they like being watched. Does
yeah.
people like being watched? You know what I mean? And fulfilling that. And I love that for you. Because a lot of us don't even like to, don't look at me in my bathing suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just the fact of being watched. And I feel like it is a place, and this is where the hashtag mind your marriage business comes in. And I spoke with this on another podcast, right? Um, I believe there needs to be a safe place where what you desire and what you want to do within your marriage bed is not publicly spoken about, because you don't need everybody else's opinions in
Right.
there. And then you listen, if the church gets wind that you and your woman or you and your man are having threesomes,
Mm,
baby, you better say goodbye to that membership. You
mm,
better say goodbye to that church position, that officer position. You won't have it,
mm.
because it's not something that is palatable for everybody, and everybody does have their own viewpoints.
Right.
I personally do not see a problem if there is a mutual healed
Yes.
answer from both parties about why we are doing this
Correct.
and why we want to join in. Because listen, y'all, Lifetime movies are based off of real life events.
Come on now.
Okay. And you, ma'am, you have your husband's penis has blessed you so good. And you said, I'm going to share this. and you share it, and a woman of God not in her right mind,
Mm,
somebody going to jail. You
mm-hmm.
know, somebody's going to jail. And that's definitely been a conversation my husband and I have had, because I'm a very free person and my husband's very, he be chilling, we chilling. And so it's just, and I'm not one of those people who feel intimidated by another woman's presence.
Mm-hmm.
Like y'all, nobody can move me off of my, like, I'm good here. My
Right.
husband has done a good job of making me feel like I'm the only girl in the world, Rihanna. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable where I am, and vice versa. Like I am blessed and highly favored in my house.
Come
Okay.
on.
Blessed and highly favored, to where I'm not out there trying to seek to replace or to
Right.
test out everything that's out there. It's not a sample, ain't no buffet like that for me. That's why
Right.
I'm not desiring that as well. So I feel like when you mix those things and those sequences in there, you're gonna get a different outcome than somebody else who is just has been suppressed forever, and now
Mm,
they want to try everything. They want to try
mm,
everything, and that's once again that you might not be able to have a threesome and go to church the next day. You might not be able to have a threesome and still keep up with your prayer life. You might not be able to do a DP situation and still feel saved and clean the next day.
mm.
And those are the things that we have to address and kind of talk about. But Pastor, we don't know that sometimes until after we've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we're like, okay, this might not be for me. I'm not okay after this.
No, and you said it spot on, and I want to be sure. Excuse me. I want to be sure that everybody understands that the goal is not to pressure your spouse into anything.
No.
Your goal is not even to become nastier and nastier and nastier. That's not the
Hmm.
goal. The goal is to be free, like you said,
Yeah.
where we can express ourselves in all shapes,
Hmm.
form, and fashion,
Hmm.
and it be well in our soul.
Yeah.
And I think questioning all of our motives, not just what we want to do in the bedroom, but why am I cooking for him every day? Why am I cleaning the house every day? Is there any ulterior motive? Am I looking for validation? Am I going to feel like this isn't
And
worth it because I'm not getting the response that I was looking
hmm,
for? So there's a lot of deep questions
yeah.
that has to be addressed before we even get into all that other stuff.
No, 1,000%. And that's what I'm saying. Like when people hear that I'm a sex coach or an intimacy wellness, they're like, "Oh, you watch people have sex." There are some that do that. I don't want to see everybody do everything. I'm
Right.
sorry. I don't like. It's just not my ministry.
Yeah.
I'm not. Let me see. I am opposed to it, but not from a I'm too saved to watch. It's just like that's a lot. That's a lot of
It's a lot of
bodies.
energy.
That's a lot of genitalia. Like I'm good. I am good. Sensory overload. Like
Yeah.
that's not what I want. I believe in the true healing because I love what happens when Jesus comes into our life.
Hmm.
Because there is true freedom. If you don't mind me getting preachy,
Go
there's
ahead.
true freedom and liberation in Christ.
Yep.
There. He has come and brought us from a place, or he should be bringing you from a place where there is no shame and guilt. You don't feel bound to the rules and the laws that man has made to suppress you. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so when we add that and then we talk about sexual freedom, there should be a correlation between the two.
Yep.
They should not be feeling like sorry, it's a Jamaican saying chalk and cheese.
Mm.
Because it's always irritating to me when people are like, you're a preacher, how do you talk about sex? What? Like I did not know church and sex did not go together.
Come on.
So
Come
yeah,
on.
that's my two
That's
cents.
why I do what I do. People think I'm
Mm-hmm.
just a rebel out here. And a little bit. I ain't gonna
Little
lie, a
bit,
little
little
bit, a
bit.
little bit. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to have the conversations that the church is not ready to have or willing to
Mm-hmm.
have because I
Mm-hmm.
believe we are the church.
Yeah,
So if a service isn't gonna deal with it, that don't mean we as the kingdom, as the body of Christ, we can't have these conversations.
exactly, exactly.
And for those who are running from the conversation or even those who are triggered by the conversation, for me it's like it's all revealing of what you need to bring to your prayer life.
I literally almost made a post like this today. If my freedom and liberation offends you, that means you were benefiting from my suppression.
Come on.
And it's revealing what you are really dealing with and not what I'm dealing with, what you're dealing
Absolutely.
with. So yes, come on, Pastor. Yes.
I hear it all. People like, oh, you ain't a good leader, you ain't a real pastor, you ain't this and that. And I just laugh because I'm like, whatever you're going through, this is the chance that you can get your deliverance.
Come on, be free.
If you just stop and
Mm-hmm.
think, why does another man's thoughts, ideas, whatever, why is that triggering me? I teach residents, right? With my community, I teach residents, right? Where nothing affects you, nothing external affects you internally unless you
Mm-hmm.
vibrate on that level to some
Mm.
capacity.
Mm.
So any external, like anything external, any external stimulus that you get a response from means something about that is in you.
Mm-hmm.
So all you gotta do is figure out where, why, and all that. Like you do that self work
Mm-hmm.
because it's not always bad, but it might not always be good. And people are scared of their shadows. They're
Mm-hmm.
scared of those dark parts. I knew I
Yeah.
was saved when I got comfortable with my darkness
Mm.
and said, okay, I can go to Christ and I can travel those dark areas about
Yeah.
me with Christ. That's when I knew, oh, I'm on a different level now. This ain't just religion now. Now we really talking
We
about
really in
being
this
a child
thing.
of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Beautiful facts.
man, there's so many questions that I want to ask. Shout out to all y'all who've been with us from the beginning. Let me just
Come
shout out
on.
my course one more time because I
Come on,
want y'all
shout out
to
the
know.
course.
Get
Yeah.
this game, giving y'all the game.
Mm-hmm.
Really teaching y'all how to be gods amongst men, to be honest with you. Mastering your ego, managing your emotions, sexual pleasure, how to hit your goals in life. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of y'all trying to get to high places, but you're not really finding the energy. That's what I'm here for. I'm helping you
Mm-hmm.
get that energy so that you can get to where you want to go.
Amen.
So yeah, man, www.launchthefront.com/course. That's where you sign up at. So yeah, so preacher, pretty preacher K.
Yes.
What would you say is probably one of the most shocking questions you've ever got as a saved sex coach? Something that was just like, oh, never thought about that, or oh, this is what you're going through. Okay, you know, what would you say was the most crazy or shocking?
I'm gonna have to dig really deep because at this point,
Right.
nothing shocks me. Like, I'm not. Yeah, I have to think about way, way back, maybe in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything at the. Yeah, nothing. I can't. I'm telling you, Doc. I hear so many things.
Oh, trust me, I know.
So it's like I'm never really. I guess what shocks me is people's openness. When people decide
Mm,
to be like, man, I just did this with 12 of them last night. And man, it was a great time. But I was kind of stuck in my spirit. I didn't really know where to go. What do you think I should
mm,
do? And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, we just jumping right into it. You know what I mean? Because I get my mixture of those who are just, cute and coy with it.
Hmm.
And then I get some that are just open books. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I thought I was open, but baby, you were open.
Yeah.
So I think the most shocking thing is how open people get with me and who is open. Um, because like I said, so my goal is to continue to cater to the Christian couples in the churches, and I want to do clergy
Mm,
so bad. Doc, as a pastor, you already know
100%.
our colleagues
Yep.
are struggling,
Facts. Facts.
suffering right now,
Yeah. Yep.
right? And so when certain names, like big names, and people favorite pastors come to me and they're like, "Hey, I know you do this, so I have this question." I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hi, Pastor so and so of your mega church. How are you today?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's talk about it." And of course, I am not in a judgmental place. I have heard so many side chick, girlfriend, three wives, this child out of what. I've heard so many of
Yeah.
those stories. I'm not in a judgmental place, and I know when I share, obviously not names
Right.
with
Right.
people and personalities,
Right.
but
Right.
just stories. And people are like, "How dare he? He's supposed to be a pastor, and how dare she? She's supposed to be saved." And I'm just like, y'all don't understand how church has manipulated sex for people.
That's a fact.
And then when you get to a place and when I understand, once again, and this is why I commented on your side chick series, because I understand.
Right.
And that goes both ways. You don't know how many women listen. Let me let
Talk
me let me
talk
listen.
about it right. Listen, talk about it because I tell my wife and I tell other women, women be having them. Listen, they got them tucked well. Okay, it
Okay.
is not a man. I mean, men have side pieces, but the way women go ahead and talk about it.
I was talking to a reverend, female
Mm,
reverend. We were talking about this conversation. I said, you know why? And the thing is, it's in different denominations. Adventist denomination, you're not going to hear much. But when we cross over to Baptist waters and things like
mm,
that, I said, the amount of lesbianism that happens is crazy. And it's just like, oh, she like women. Oh, she like them too. And the thing is, it's always shocking to me, but it's not because as a woman, I can attest to you. Now you listening, I can attest to you that being a pretty preacher in a male dominated space
come
is
on.
tough.
Hmm.
I can tell you. Oh, obviously, I don't say no names, but it's the factor of I can tell you the countless times I've gone to conferences and I have these men with large names and large ministries who are trying to shoot shots and want hotel room service and
Hmm.
after conference hour one-on-one time,
Hmm.
and but they want to use sex as a manipulative tool versus this mutually beneficial pleasure system
Right.
is just upsetting. And guess what? What women usually don't do.
Mm,
Use sex against another woman.
mm,
When I say we collectively, not we personally, because I
mhm.
know there's somebody online that's going to just run with this. Preacher Kayla likes women. I know she's gonna run with it. But anyway, when women in preaching spaces get into these relationships with other women that are in preaching spaces, it is this beautiful symbiotic community of girl, I'll help you, and I'm gonna help you.
Mhm.
Whereas the men, it's like, yeah, I love you, girl. I'll take care of you, girl. Go ahead and do this for me. I promise I'm gonna make sure you preach. Girl,
Mm,
you never will. But you guess what will happen? Him, all 12 of his homeboys gonna hit you up. Everybody's gonna know. Then he's gonna use this on top of your head to pull you and blackmail and
mm,
use this string to get here and there. And then he's making all these calls for you to come like you are a
mm.
beckoning animal at his every will, but you
Mercy.
have no freedom. The I don't want
Hmm.
to use this word. The kitty cat is not power because
Mm,
it's being used in power to control you,
mm,
but when it comes usually with women, there is a system where we are taking care of one another. And
mhm,
I'm like, this is why women like women in preaching spaces, because I know that sister so and so with the church, she been divorced, she ain't got no man, you know
mm.
she ain't trying to date a man. That's why she don't
Wow.
want a man.
Mm,
She likes her women. And it's because when in her system she feels safe. We're gonna
yeah.
keep each other safe. My number one goal is not to expose you, baby, because you have been like, and here's where we get to unravel traumas, right? There's mother trauma. Mommy trauma is so real within the female community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Auntie trauma, there's big sister desires, somebody that takes care of you, right? And now we're all in this whole
Mhm,
soft life thing everybody's going on with, right? Soft life, there's such a soft life with a woman who is telling you, girl, yeah, let's get our nails done together, don't worry, I'll take care of that. You didn't eat today, don't worry, I'll make sure you have lunch.
mm,
Let's work on your preaching notes, let's make sure that you talk to so and so. I just had lunch with the president of this and I'd love to connect you. There is this, we are going to take care of each other,
mhm.
and people don't want to address this. And this is why it's so easy. And I can't tell you how many women that have come to me, confided in me, who don't even like women for real.
Right.
But guess what? This woman took care of her. She
Yes.
called her beautiful.
Right.
She noticed when she changed her hair.
Mm,
She noticed when she did her eyelashes today.
mm,
It was not just strictly about sex, but it was about the environment. She set the atmosphere. Sis set up a date for her. She told her what to wear to get dressed up and feel pretty. And then she helped her take her pictures after dinner that she
mm,
saw posted on Instagram. She was a figure first. She was a great person in her life who supported her. She was a role model. She
mm,
was a supporter and
mhm,
then became a lover.
Mm-hmm.
But men like to do it all different types of ways. They love to try and throw the penis in there first, and then it's like, well, I'll support you if you do this first. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, lesbianism. I'm using that term very loosely. I'm just trying to help people out. Just the girl on girl action in
Right.
church spaces is always, that's one thing that I guess I'm always like, wow.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
always
yeah.
a shock to be like this person, and then also just the attraction aspect of what you like. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Not everybody likes everybody, and what they
That's a
do like,
fact.
you're like, this is interesting. And
Yep.
I think that's another thing that always shocks me. Now things are coming to my mind as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Finding what people like and who likes what.
Right. Right.
You know, I know a lot of quiet women. Don't talk, introverted, don't say nothing, real quiet, real shy, real cutesy.
Mhm.
She likes double penetration.
Yeah.
She wants it in all the holes possible.
Yeah.
All of them. All
At
of
the
them.
same time.
And
Yeah.
at the same time, and she's a sub. She's a sub. She likes to be told what to do. She don't want to say nothing.
She's gonna
You
be a good
know,
girl. Oh yeah.
she wants to be a good girl. That's how she wants. She likes to dress up. She wants to be told to take this day. She wants to be choked. She wants to gag. Like, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
those are always like, what? I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
always
Yeah.
like, what, girl? Not you. Because I try not to, because I feel like, those movies where somebody has like a superpower, like they can read minds or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard to turn off because you can hear and see everything. And I
Right.
try to go into spaces, Doc, where I'm not reading too deeply into people.
I hear you.
I'm just trying to just let them
B.
be,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Pineapples, man. Just the subliminals. This is
Yeah.
subliminals for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at what is it called? Like special kink jewelry.
Yeah.
Like I'll
Mm.
see it,
Talk
I'll be
about
like,
it.
because it's in plain sight.
It's a
But if
secret
you don't know what you're
society.
looking for, you're not gonna see it.
That's
You
right. It's a
know,
secret society.
I had a job and I had one of my bosses. She had an upside down pineapple cup.
Come
She
on. You
was
already
drinking
know.
at work. And then she had the sub choker
Yep.
ball and chain necklace. And I said,
Yep.
and
Because if you know, you know.
yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that was a lot of talking, but that's
Nah,
that's
you listen, listen. You doing your thing, and and I'm glad you're talking about it because you mentioned something that I want to go back to, kind of give some free game to the brothers. Because what I realize when it comes to sex, men typically, of course, not everybody, but men have a hard time seeing women as valuable outside of sex, which is
mm-hmm,
why they're not really holding women down without sex or without sex being first. Even
mm-hmm,
I hear it all the time in these conversations, and I try not to be the buzzkill, right?
mm-hmm.
But the way that this word simp is being thrown around. Now, I believe simping is real. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
there aren't such a thing as simps.
There are.
But if you think valuing women as people is being a
Is a simp.
simp, then you have a lot of trauma that you haven't worked out
You
yet.
gotta go through that. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You gotta process, you gotta heal.
Mm-hmm.
Because how can you look at another human being and not see a person, a living soul, and honor them as such? Of course,
Talk
we all want to have sex, that's fine. But the fact that you only see a sexual opportunity, that's the problem. And what I've also learned is because women have been treated like that for
mm-hmm.
so long, it kind of puts a block on the pussy, for lack of a better term, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they used to be down with, they don't want to be down with it because they're tired of being used and abused and
Mm-hmm.
neglected.
The negative way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after giving so much sexually, then it's like you just reduced me as trash when I thought we was having experiences and moments and creating memories. And so these men are messing up the game. I tell them that all the time. You're messing up the game, bro. If you
Mm-hmm.
really want women, then you have to treat women. But let me say this, because I want to be clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just treat women like they're people, but actually value women as
As a
people.
person.
Yeah, because all these games of, love bombing and I'm gonna treat you a certain way to get this from you,
Yes.
that's just as bad, you know?
And we do it in we. Do it in marriages where it's like, I'm gonna clean the house and I'll make sure the kids are good just so I can get some tonight.
Yep.
How about we clean the house because it's dirty and it need to be clean? How about
Exactly.
we take care of the kids because they need to be taken care of and they're our kids? You talk
Exactly.
about baby, don't worry about it. I'll babysit the kids while you go out with your girls. It's not babysitting if they're
Right.
your kids too.
Exactly.
What are we doing? Because you
Yeah.
thought that you took care of your kids, they were supposed to do something. You know what I mean? And it's just
Right.
like we gotta get out this. Oh well, if I do this, then I expect this in return.
Right. Right.
If just because you gave me a little two licks down there, sir, does not qualify you for 30 minutes of good head from me. That's
Come
not
on.
what this means. That's not what
Right.
this means. Do it because you want to. Do it because you enjoy it. And
Exactly.
those are the people like I my sister and I had this conversation. Men, and I know we've jumped, sorry. Men who enjoy pleasing a woman. Those are,
Come on.
and you can tell the difference.
Yes, you
You
can.
can tell that I've met some men in my life, my past life,
Mm-hmm. Clean it
that
up, Pastor. Clean it up, Pastor.
in my past life, who have just they just want to see me happy. They just want to. I
Yeah.
just want to taste you. I just want to eat you. I just
Yeah.
okay, sir.
No
They
facts.
want to, they just want to do it because they like doing it, and that's
Yeah.
those are the best feelings. Those are not a well. If you go out on this date with me, then maybe I'll take you.
Right.
Why is there a stipulation? Why is there a hoop I have to jump through? Why do I have to do
Yeah.
all these other different type of tricks just to get you to do one act? Like
Exactly.
these
Yeah.
same things. It's
Yeah.
just irritating. But yes, treating me or treating a woman as a valuable person, and because you respect her, you honor her,
Yes.
you
Yes.
care about what she has going on,
Yes.
and you actually are intrigued or interested in wanting to be a part of her future or whatever it may
Exactly.
be, versus just wanting a little 30 minutes of sex that you think you're gonna give me.
Right. And most of them ain't even lasting 30 minutes.
And the thing is, and there's nothing wrong with 30 minutes. And I do listen, Doc, if we ever get time, can we talk about Mythbusters? Because we need to talk about that too.
Yo,
One
we can touch it a little bit. We got a little bit of time. Oh, and today's your birthday, right? Happy birthday, Kay.
is thank
Hey,
you.
looking younger and younger. Happy birthday. Y'all gotta just throw her some cash on the fact that it's her birthday and she giving y'all some game. We gotta put your
Listen,
cash
I
up
put
up
my
there.
cash app as my name. Don't play with me. I'll put
Oh,
my
oh,
cash
hold on, hold on. Let me put the name back up. I want them. Listen, y'all need to bless her,
I
okay?
I
Because
got
she's
you.
giving y'all game. But yeah, no. Let's tackle some of these myths because as someone who kind of deals with this subject, regularly, there was something that I was shocked about, of course, when you look at the research, but also one of the beauties. Let me say this, right? Because I joke a lot about the side piece of this on the third. So let me just
Mhm.
take some time to, I guess, be a little serious, right?
A little serious.
Right. One of the beauties about monogamy is the longevity of exploring each other
Mm-hmm.
and discovering like the little things that in these quickies or in these short-term relationships you don't really get the time to explore in those ways.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And watching even how the different eras, how needs change, and
Come on, can we
all
talk?
that stuff is beautiful to me, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
while I be joking about that other stuff, I've been with my wife for 19 years, right?
Yay, love it.
And it's like, almost 20 years, we have morphed and developed. And a lot of these myths, a lot of stuff that they say, it's like, okay, some of y'all still trapped in high school, or y'all really heavy on the porn.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't really know. Like, y'all don't know
Mm-hmm.
because I know. Y'all don't really know. And it becomes obvious to me, but not obvious to the person who might not know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll share one, but then you can kind of, take off, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not my specialty. I just know something about it, right?
Yeah. You know,
But even like the bigger the better, as far as penis size, the amount of women that I talk to, they'd be like, yo, once he crosses like 8 inches, it ain't even fun. Like this thing hurt. And, like they'd be like, oh, I like him girthy, but if he like, girthy, it's like, hey, yo, as a boy when you're younger, high school, early college, you don't know that, so you are embarrassed about, I don't know what, seven and a
what you
half.
got?
I don't know what people working with, right? But You embarrassed with your
Five
package,
and a half, 6. Mm-hmm.
and that's average.
That is.
5.5 to 6 is average. When I first, because I went to a sex museum, and when I saw that, you could have to wife. I was like, nah, hell nah. They done surveyed a different demographic. This ain't average, but it is. So go ahead and break down some of these myths.
Well, that yeah, that's definitely one of them. Size. Let me tell you something else that changes your mind about size.
Mm,
The way you love somebody. And this is why my demographic is married couples,
come
because
on.
I don't want to talk to somebody that you didn't hit it right last night, so I'm finding a new person this morning. I don't
Mm,
care for that because there's no consistency. I can't work with you because every time you find somebody you don't like, you're gonna change them out, and now
mm,
we got to talk about this person. I want to
mm,
talk to somebody you'll stay with, or you're gonna wake up next to almost every day.
mhm,
Okay, um, and so when it comes to size. I have somebody that I know of in mind that I remember would complain about her husband's size all the time.
mm,
She was not happy, or her
mm, mhm, mhm,
boyfriend. She didn't want to have sex with him. She's like, girl, not even big enough, not even nothing what I'm used to. Da, 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 da.
mm, mhm.
As the time went by, and now this man is her husband.
Mm,
When I tell you, she can't stop singing about how good it is because
mm.
there's an attachment. There is a I love this man and everything that comes with him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? The heart has changed. The
It's a
mind
bonding.
has changed.
Yeah,
The everything. The whole experience has changed. The head game's so good that it don't even matter what size it is because
right.
it's working. Everything that he does is just amazing. It's a
Yeah.
song. It's a song. It's the best little thing. Oh, I only like big, thick women. I don't like thick women, but you got a little cute, petite little thing.
Right, right.
When when she takes it and puts it down,
Come on.
better than any thick woman you've ever had.
Mm,
And so, therefore, it's the way you've loved her and the way your love has morphed
yeah.
that now her perspective and your perspective has changed. And this is why when we come into these new things, cleaning out the apartment, I'm gonna keep saying that clean out the apartment.
Yeah.
Not and sometimes it's not even old furniture, it's cobwebs. You
Come
got
on. Come on.
cobwebs up in there. Clean it up because it makes room for me as your new boo to be able to love you and be loved by you in a
Yeah.
new clean space.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
definitely size, right? Let's talk about vaginas.
Come on.
Um, with this wetter the better, it better leak, it better drip, it
Mm.
better walk, it better be a puddle. If it's not a puddle or something wrong with it, baby, that's what lube is for.
Come on.
And I want to make sure I am speaking to a woman
Mm,
who feels like she's not as moist as Cardi and Lotto. Because guess what? Some of us have vaginal dryness.
mm.
Some of us have because of hormone imbalances
Yep.
after children, anything medically that we've gone through,
Yep.
weight gain, weight loss. So many things can throw you off, girl. If you don't stop comparing yourself to women who don't matter, like it
Come.
does don't matter.
They don't
Do
matter.
not it does not matter. It does not matter. Gagging
Mm,
and taking it in the back of your throat is not for everybody. It's
hmm.
not for everybody. Some of us have really strong and subtle gathering reflexes. Now I can help you with that. However,
Hey.
however, it's not for everybody. Don't
Hmm.
think it has to be shoved down your throat till you
Mm.
almost die. Now
Right.
that is a kink. That's a
That is a
fixation.
kink. That is a kink.
Um, I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know how I feel about it. Now, I'm just gonna throw that out there. But moving on,
Mm.
it's not for everybody, and that's the spirit of comparison, right?
Right.
Because music and media does so much.
Talk about it.
It does so much, and I don't care how grown you are. There's still a part of you, and there's still an age. It doesn't. Comparison has no age. Where
Right.
we're always like, oh, it doesn't. There's always part of that. There's always part of that. Listen, I have a friend. I won't call her name before y'all
Hmm.
start looking her up on IG. She is so thick. She is so thick. And I'm like, I don't look like that when I walk. And I be telling my
Mm.
husband all the time, I be like, babe, I know she thicker than me. I know she look just I know her booty just bounce. I bet
Mm.
her booty bounces on penis. You know what I mean? I bet it just looks so good from the back. And
Hmm.
it's just like I have to get to a point where I'm like, well, is this man complaining?
Right.
Is he saying anything?
Right.
No. You know what I mean? And it's like we have to get to a point where you you feel good about yourself, but also I feel like our spouse has a job or a part in that to play
Talk about it.
with affirming us
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
what we're doing so we feel comfortable, you know, and not always be like, well, babe, you know, maybe you should hit the gym. Tone, man of God, tone matters. And is it just me or can we go
Can
together?
we
You
come
know,
on talk about it? Yeah. Yeah.
like is it a we thing or is it a me thing?
Mm.
So I think that all matters as well. Being able to ride or during certain positions, you know what I mean? I feel like those are myth busters. Not
Mm.
everybody can ride on their knees, not everybody can ride on
Mm-hmm.
their toes, not everybody can ride in heels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's get to a place that we do what works for us. And this is why,
That's
like
right.
I said, minding your marriage business.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get to a point where y'all are just good with y'all.
Yep.
This is what me and my boo do, and this is what we do, and nobody can shake us from it.
Right.
That kind of security and that kind of confidence is
Yeah.
imperative in your marriage. And it's not just needed in the first 5 years. It's not just needed the first 10 years. It's needed forever.
Forever.
Because there's always going to be a more hip thing, a finer thing, a stronger thing, a younger thing. There's
Yep.
always going to be that. But what about how y'all hold it down at home?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you feel secure here? Do
Yeah.
you feel good here? And so, yes, another thing the porn industry has kind of ruined for us. Where does a man come? Where does he bust? Where does
Mm.
he finish at? Is it gonna be a face shot? Is it gonna be on the chest? Is it gonna be on the back? Some women don't even like their first of all, they don't like textures and they don't like feeling wet.
Mm-hmm.
And for the fact that there is semen on their face, that
Right.
would drive them crazy.
Right.
Man of
Right.
God,
Right.
please have that conversation with her before.
Right.
Don't just
Right.
pull it out and put don't do that. Unless you want to die, unless you want to meet the king, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or you want that woman to go into a hole. You want her to hide and forever be in a turtle shell and not want to come out because you have scared her. Um, it's made it harder. Another myth that, and this is no shade on any of my virgin ladies, but
Mm.
the men who think that virgins are gonna just be better and freakier and nastier is just wild to me. We are in 2024. Please
Come
stop
on.
playing yourself. Do
Come
not
on.
play yourself.
It's a fact.
If woman of God has never seen a penis, never been introduced to one, she's been told they're bad, she's
Right.
been told to stay away from it, she's been in purity culture classes since two, then
Mm.
guess what? Guess what that penis is gonna make her do? Run for the hills.
Yep.
Run for the hills. She's never gonna sleep with you. And I know
Mm.
a lot of women who, because they're afraid of the penis, they give their husbands permission to go be with somebody else. They don't want to do it
Yep.
because there's a fear there. But girl, why aren't you the one busting the wide open? Why
Right.
aren't you the one receiving the back shots? Don't be setting him off to be with Hagar.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
care
Yeah.
of it yourself. Take care of it yourself, Sarah.
Yeah.
Take care of it yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's another thing that I really hate that because I can tell you the amount because remember my demographic, y'all, church people.
Right.
The amount of church men I've encountered that want to come to me and complain about a virgin wife that they have.
Come on.
And she's not, she does not nasty, she don't want to do this. She want to be saved, and I don't know what's wrong with her. I told her. Blah, blah, blah. You first of all, you came into there, you selfish, inconsiderate booty hole.
Right.
You thought you were gonna pick a woman that's never seen a penis before, and she was just gonna be the nastiest thing for you. You're
Makes no
so
sense.
selfish.
Right.
So selfish. You're not even a good teacher. You
Come
couldn't
on.
teach a class if you tried.
Come
You
on.
don't even take instruction well. So why would you think that you could teach well? And that's
Right.
just me on my little pedestal real quick because it really is. And I promise you, I love my ladies. I support my ladies. I support my men. But I'm gonna rip into anybody who deserves it.
That's a
And
fact.
that kind of thinking that I don't know what's wrong with her. She was a virgin, so I don't know why she isn't this person for me. Why? Did y'all talk about it? How
Right.
did you introduce her to it? Did you just on your wedding night be like, here, girl, whip it out and be like, let's go?
Right.
What is that?
Right.
Did you even invest in her sexual pleasure?
Facts.
What sex coaching did you sign her up for?
Come
Y'all
on.
want to sign women up for everything. Did you sign her up for sex? How to take dick 101? Did you do
Right.
that? Because it's
Right.
important. You signed her up for candle making classes, wife classes, how
Mm-hmm.
to cook classes, but you didn't sign her up for a class on how to have sex. You didn't
Right.
do that.
Right. Right. And let's keep it a buck though. A lot of these Negroes ain't good at sex.
They're not good at it. And I feel bad for their wives because they're suffering. They're
Right.
suffering.
And they blaming her, talking about she ain't nasty. bruh, you
And you
ain't
see what
good.
you
You over
work
here
with?
jackhammering, rabbit humping. You don't know what you're doing, and you think she's the problem, bruh. Your sex is trash.
And the thing is, you've had women who stroked your ego and lied to you because they're dealing with how to speak up for themselves and use their voices as well. And everybody told you you were good at something. And all of a sudden you think you are so good. You are God's gift to women
Right.
that you are going to come up in here and you're like, well, I don't know what her problem is. Everybody else liked it. They lied to
They
you.
lied to
They
you.
lied to you.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Women, we need to find our voices and we need to vocalize some things because y'all got to talk. We
Say it again.
cannot keep being the 87% of us not experiencing an orgasm
Right.
because you're too afraid to talk. This your husband, girl. If you don't talk to that man,
Come on.
a man
Come on.
that you're not gonna see tomorrow, I get it. Why
Yes.
train him? Why
Right.
train him? But a man that you're gonna be with tomorrow, the next day you trying to make a baby with, and you're pregnant by,
Yep.
girl, be for real.
Be
Be
real.
for real. Love yourself enough, queen, to take care of your orgasms by making him do it.
Absolutely.
You're running out the batteries. The fingers are pruned. The fingers are
Woo.
pruned. Okay. I
Girl.
saw this meme and I shared it with a girlfriend of mine between acoustic vagina and electric vagina. I said, listen, I ain't gonna race this. Sometimes that acoustic be singing the right song.
Come on.
Um, but it's a factor of you're doing all your own self pleasuring because you don't want to tell him he's not good at it or you're not enjoying it. Let's not say you're not good. Let's just say I am not reaching
Mm.
the sexual goal for myself with you. So let's
Yep.
try to work on that. And I feel like that is definitely a downfall of the female um, demographic. We don't talk enough. We don't
No,
talk
that's a
enough.
fact.
So,
And y'all need to talk more. I'm gonna talk to the fornicators too. If y'all fornicators start
who
being
does the
honest,
fornicators
listen, I'm gonna talk because I'm gonna tell you something. The- because I mainly talk to men, right? I do talk
Yeah.
to women, but
Mm-hmm.
I mainly talk to men.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when I talk to women, it's about men because that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of my thing. But a lot of these guys think because they have a high body count, that means they're good at it. So when I come
I hate
through
it.
and I'm like, nah, bro, that might not be it because women haven't been honest, because they're not saying, oh, this is trash, or I'm not really feeling it, whatever it is, whatever language they want to use, because they're not having those conversations, these brothers think their love of their life is tripping. And I'm like, bro,
Only
there's
you
so much
do.
we could talk about. We could first talk about why you have such a high body count in the first place. We could talk about how long you've been with them. Because there's some women where as long as it's hard, they know what they gonna do with it.
Yeah.
So if you've been dealing with some veterans, some snipers, it wasn't you anyway. She knew what she was doing.
She's a sniper. Oh God, the sniper
You know
ministry.
what I'm saying? There's some real. I know a few snipers out there. Whereas I look, I just need a hard dick. I'm gonna go to work. I got it from there. Just
They enjoy that though. They
they
enjoy
do.
pleasuring a man. So they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Yeah.
But it's like, yes, they enjoy pleasuring him, but they're such in tune with their body that they know how to whine a certain way or they
To get
gonna
what
put
they
it
need.
where it needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as he's hard enough, they get mad because they doing all the work and
Yeah.
he nut too quick. Like, wait, I wasn't done. I need
He's
you
a
to.
pillow princess. He just sitting there.
He's the pillow. He's the pillow princess. That's funny. The man being the pillow princess is crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, but no.
They are
And
there.
some of these dudes, they don't even realize that they were the hoes. Like they counting their body, but the block was sharing you
So
because you was big enough and hard enough, but you wasn't
community,
really community
community,
dick.
and
Yeah.
granted, like I say, y'all, I am not for labels. I'm not for demeaning you. I'm not for calling you out. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But
Right.
what I will do is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I will correct. We are not going to get in here in my space, in my office, and you were going to try and point fingers at the woman of God or a woman of God. You're not going to come here and point fingers
Right.
at this man and be like, you need to fix him. Baby, let's fix you.
Right.
Because I feel like maybe there's something we could brush up on with you as well. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like yes, it's crazy out here, dog. It's crazy.
It
Go ahead.
is. Man, listen, we could keep going, but I'm gonna stop here because I'm gonna bring you back when you get
No.
certain things in line.
Yes. I'm
So
so
that
excited.
But until then, how can they find you? Put out all your stuff, IG, Facebook, whatever you want them to know, so that they can find you and work with you.
Yes, I am definitely on social media. I am on um, Facebook as Kayla Joissaint, Joissaint. I am on Instagram as Kayla underscore Rochelle, Rachelle. Now, I will say sometimes the content is a little different. Just want to throw people out there. I feel like my Instagram, I can get more real. I get more personable. You're gonna see a lot of me. You're gonna see I love to eat food. I love to eat food. The travel. You're gonna see a lot more of that on Facebook. I'm gonna just keep it a book. It's gonna be a lot of preaching content. You're gonna see when I'm preaching next. You can see my flyers for that. You're gonna see clips of me preaching. You're gonna hear my podcasts on here. You're gonna maybe see my husband, my family, but it's definitely gonna be a lot of ministry based type things. So it's whatever you're looking for. If you want any collabs, if you definitely want or looking for an evangelist to come preach for you, if you want a makeup artist, if you anything like that, go ahead and DM me. Those all go to my phone at the moment. I'm changing, I'm redoing a lot of rebranding right now as I'm stepping into a new season of my life.
Yes.
With especially with this Save Sex Coach ministry and a few other things that I have in the work. So right now, my Facebook or my Instagram is the best way to contact me. Until further ado, but yeah, I'm here for all of it. I'm here for my women's ministry. I'm here to preach in general. As much as I love the sex talk and I love making sure people are sexually liberated, I love God.
Hmm.
Number one, I love to preach. I love the word. I love to study. I love to do Bible studies. I've done all of that. So, and I travel. I travel. That's the good thing about airplanes, y'all. The good thing
Come
about
on.
airplanes. So, definitely, I'm here to work with churches and organizations, and I'm here for it. So, definitely can't wait to reach out and hear from everybody. But I appreciate this time, Pastor Lawrence. I appreciate you and your ministry. I think it's so dope. You are definitely one of the coolest people because you can definitely say things and get away with them that I cannot openly say.
I don't know if I'm
But
getting away with them, but
just know we are here. We are definitely here.
absolutely. Nah, I had to bring you on because you are so dope and you're doing your thing. And I see the increase. I see it. So if you ever
Thank
doubt it, just know I see it. I see it going up. And
you.
so I wanted to make sure that the public knew who you were.
Thank
And I
you.
had to get you on here. And because we having some real conversation you can't have with everybody. You
You
know,
cannot.
I've had the sex talk with other people and I can see the restriction. I can see the bondage. And I'm like, you know, nah, I can't support that. 'Cause if I'm gonna be married to you for the rest of my life, I need a certain level of freedom from both of us. And you definitely represent that. You're not, I like how you do it because you're not just saying be irresponsible or just chase pleasure as long as it feels good, it's okay. You have a standard,
Yeah.
but within that standard, there's freedom. And
Yeah.
so I support that 100%, sis. I had to put you on.
No, I that means and listen, like I said, that means the entire world and I'm definitely here for having candid conversations. Listen, I've been canceled for lashes and long wigs. So I at this point they what is a little sex talk, penis and vagina? You know what
Right, right.
I mean? They don't if they don't like me, they're not gonna like me. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I've got to a place where I'm like it's just not gonna happen then. So, and I'm okay with it. And the people who are for me will be for me. Y'all gonna ride with me. You're gonna be in
Yep.
my. You're gonna be at every single place that I can preach on. You're gonna watch every video that I post, and
Yep.
I love that, and I appreciate y'all, and I love the support. So, thank you again, Pastor Lawrence, especially for all the affirmations and the words and the things that I'm gonna receive, and I do
Yes.
receive them. So, thank you.
Amen. No doubt. All right, y'all. One more time. I said that the last time. Let me just put this course up here for those who don't know. I'm putting in all my game. I put all my game in this course. Also have the Brotherhood that is coming up. I'll show y'all the crest for that. But y'all need to sign up for the course. DM me to get on my email list. DM me if you need a speaker. But this course talk about mastering emotions, getting control of your ego, attracting femininity, how to hit your goals. I'm giving y'all all the game, and so y'all definitely want to hop on. But other than that, we are done. Consider yourselves dismissed. Peace.